What is up, you beautiful happy hustlers out there? Kerry Jack here, and I hope you're having an amazing day. Just enjoy this very moment right here and right now, baby. And in this episode of the Happy Hustle podcast, we have on Izabela Hamilton, who is the founder and CEO of RankBell. She was voted #1 service provider in the Amazon space. She is actively driving over, and this is a crazy number, $100 million in revenue for Amazon sellers. She is a thought leader. She's an angel investor. She's a podcaster, and she is a public speaker. And she's going to talk to us all about mindset, money, and Amazon. Now, without further ado, y'all, let's dive into this episode of the Happy Hustle podcast after a quick message from this episode's sponsor. And real quick, guys, I just want to give a huge shout out to Nootopia, who is making my favorite supplements for optimizing my brain and performance. If you guys use your brain to make money, let me tell you, these are worth getting. You can go to nootopia.com/happy hustle, save yourself some moolah, get yourself these really powerful nootropic brain optimizing supplements. And the best part, they come with the money back guarantee. So check it out, nootopia.com/happy hustle. Now let's dive back into this episode. All right, Izabela Hamilton, welcome to the Happy Hustle podcast, my friend. I am super excited to connect.
Thank you so much. And I love the name of your podcast.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And I'm really excited about this one, Izabela. You know, I don't talk a lot about Amazon and I don't talk a lot about using it as a tool, but let's face it, it's like the world's biggest marketplace. And it's an important topic. And I know you talk about mindset and money and Amazon, and you're a thought leader and an angel investor and a podcaster and a speaker. But before we get into all that good stuff, what's something interesting about yourself that not too many people know?
Well, just recently I found out about myself that I am a warrior.
Ooh.
Yes.
Tell me more.
I don't know if I should go into that.
Did you get in an altercation or what?
Almost.
Oh.
If you want, we can talk about it. It's very recent. It just happened to me about 2 days ago, and I've actually faced a wild animal. It was a coyote. Came in front of my yard and stole my baby away, my little chihuahua.
Oh.
And I know you were not ready for this story, right?
No.
And I charged after this thing, and I ran and I ran and I ran, and I screamed as loud as I could. It was 7 a.m. There was nobody on the street. And at one point, my dog was gone. Like, she was gone. And then by some miracle from God or from the universe, whatever you want to call it, this person shows up out of nowhere from the other side, running towards the coyote. And the coyote, I guess, was like, oh my God, I'm trapped, right? So he started running back towards me, and I just like unleashed this like alpha side of me that I've never seen before. Like in my head and my body, I was like, I will rip this thing to pieces. Like just I had zero fear. And as soon as he got close to me, it released my dog. Like, my dog is alive. But I think it could feel. So like, that's what I mean. Like, warrior. I was like, I never felt this so much power that I was not scared. It was like, it's me or you.
Yeah.
And, I
motherly instincts. I love it.
Yes. And Courtney, which we both know, I had a call with her, and she's like, you know what? Like, you have to understand that basically that wild animal bowed down to you. Like, you won the battle. So this is definitely something I recently found out about myself, that, whatever situation I'm being put in, just like with anything, you can fight or flight. And I am definitely a fighter and a warrior. And I am, all that adrenaline and rush that I had, it has changed something in me for sure.
Wow. That's awesome. I mean, I personally, I even have it tattooed on me, peaceful on one side and warrior on the other, because I believe we have both in us, right? We have the peaceful side, but I believe we all have that inner warrior. And early on in my, my childhood and teen years, I was way too much warrior, like I was just looking to explore that side of me way too much. And then I feel like I'm more peaceful than ever. And it's like, I think it's a great point. I like that you led with this, because we all have those two sides of us in us, you know, these peaceful and this warrior side. And you brought out the warrior to save your dog who you
Yes.
love dearly. It's like your
Yeah.
kid. And,
And
you
I've
know,
been more on the peaceful side. Like,
yeah,
I can't even believe you have that tattoo. Like,
yeah,
for those listening or watching this, we have
yeah,
not talked before,
no,
before this podcast. Like, I had no idea. So for me, my whole life, I've been the peaceful person. Like, that's how people know me. Like, yeah, I'm a hustler and I do this, but I'm also like the kind person, the happy one, the peaceful. Like, I've never seen the side of myself, the warrior side. And it's, we all have this inside of us. And it's like, when you're faced with the situation like I was, you can go both ways. And I did think about um both of these ways. Like, the first day I was just so fearful and scared, and I started going down that victim mentality. Like, why is this happening to me? Like, what could I have possibly done wrong to upset God, to upset the universe?
yeah,
Like, why is this happening to me? Right? Because it was such a rush, and my baby was hurt and I didn't know if she was going to make it. And why is this happening to me? Why is this happening to me? Like, that
yeah,
victim mentality. And then the next day, as I started like thinking about it, I was like, oh my God, like, I could become the victim, or I could become this warrior that I saved her. Like, this
yeah,
happened to me for a reason,
yep,
for me to step into this power that I didn't know I have. Because
yeah.
I have very big goals in this lifetime, Carrie, very big, like
I want
big
to
when
hear
I
some.
tell,
Tell us some.
well, I will become a billionaire in 5 years.
Love it. What else?
I think that's a pretty big one. But with that, I want to be able to change the world. I want to leave a legacy. I want to inspire billions of people. I want them to know that they all have this power inside of themselves. And when you make these big huge goals, you will be facing some of these hardships, and
Oh yeah.
for me, it was like, I was not ready for it. Like, it was 7 a.m. Nothing can prepare you for an event like this. Even though I wasn't ready, I was ready. Like, I
Mm,
made that decision in that moment that I will go after my baby. Like, there's nothing stopping me. Like, this is happening right now and I'm taking charge of it.
yeah.
And you can apply this as an analogy, for everything in life. Like, we
Yep.
we are all faced with different situations all the time, and we let some go and some, we face, but we are the ones that have to make that decision. And
Yeah.
for me, even though this was very physical, it taught me a lot about myself and where I am going. And I think I am ready now to really step into those goals, because it's easy to be like,
Mm,
oh my God, yeah, I want to do this and I want to do that. And, I want $1 billion, and it's
yeah.
great, right? It's like a fairy tale and it's a dream. And most people are like, sure, yes. But now I'm like, I can actually do this. I
Yeah.
can actually do this.
Well, and I'm curious to hear your backstory more so. But while we're on the topic, let me ask you this: why do you want $1 billion?
Because one, you can accomplish a lot with $1 billion. I know there's a lot of people out there that say, oh, money doesn't bring happiness. Money can bring you not only happiness, but you can do a lot of things with a lot of money. And second, unfortunately, we live in a society where you have to prove to people that you have accomplished something in order for them to believe you. You know what I mean? So it's one thing to step on a stage and tell everyone, hey, you can become a billionaire too if you really want to, or you can build a school in Africa like you've always wanted to. I mean, there's different goals in this lifetime, right? That people have. Not everybody wants to be a billionaire, but it's like, once you have that, trophy in front of you, people are like, okay, she's worth listening to. I'm not saying that I'm not worth listening to now. It's just, you have a lot more proof
Credibility.
to credibility to show people. But having $1 billion, it's definitely a goal of mine. I want to see one for me. Like, I can do this. And I'm
Mm,
proving it to myself. So it's not necessarily about the number, but it's about, can I actually get to that point? Because
yeah.
you can
The
make money.
challenge.
Yes, you can make money in this lifetime. You can make 1 million or 10 and or 20 or 50, and people can be set up for life. They
Yeah.
never have to lift a finger in their life. So I understand that you don't need that much money in order to live a very fruitful life. I get that. But there comes a point where it's like, okay, but if I have this, how much more I can actually help and impact. I don't want to leave this world and be like, I was just another regular person. I want to leave a legacy. I want to have my mark in this world. I want to change the world.
Mm,
I want my existence, my short existence on this earth to matter. And
yep.
we all have this within ourselves. We all have it. And if I can only spark that flame inside of somebody, and every time I do that, it raises the vibration of the universe. And for the next generation and the next generation and the next generation.
Yeah, amen to that. I was just curious because, for me personally, like I value my freedom as a lifestyle entrepreneur. And when I think $1 billion,
I have an answer for that, but go ahead. I can't
yeah,
wait. Go for
no,
it.
well, and this is an interesting, discussion because I think personally, $1 billion, that comes with so much
Right.
pressure
$1
and
billion
responsibility.
equals stress and responsibility and no free
Yeah,
time.
yeah,
I thought about all of it.
yeah. Well, and I personally, like, I recently had a guest on and they shared some interesting data in regards to the money threshold and its correlation to happiness. And what was so interesting was how low the number was. I mean, it seemed low to me, and it was $75,000 a year. If you take home after taxes $75,000 a year, you're no longer, money is directly correlated with happiness. It's impact, it's influence, it's other things. Now, and I hear someone like you who says with $1 billion, I can make more impact, have more influence. And I 100% agree with that. The more you make, the more you can give. That's a fact. So I think money, especially of that quantity, reveals more of your true character. And it's interesting because I'm not aspiring to that goal. That's not my goal as a happy hustler. My goal is creative freedom, time freedom, and financial freedom. Those three freedoms, which I think $1 billion could accomplish, but it also, in my mind, maybe I'm just conditioned to think that it's coming with all other things, baggage. Maybe just because I've been watching Succession on HBO, which is all about a billionaire who just has so much problems. But tell me your mindset around this billion, just a little deeper, and then we can move on to your backstory.
So, of course, if you look in our history and even today, when you see a billionaire, you see all these issues and these problems, and you're like, you know what, good for him. Like, he chose that life, he has this, but look at all the issues and the problems and the sorrow, and they have no friends, and they're a little weird, and they're
Yeah.
crazy, and all these things, right, that come with it. And automatically people correlate that. Like, and that's why most people don't want to go to that, because they're thinking $1 billion equals no freedom, equals no family, equals no health, equals all of this. I want to challenge that. That's another challenge for me. I want to create that $1 billion and still live the life that I want. And maybe I'll be the first one to achieve that. So it's not that I want to be a billionaire, but I want to be a billionaire in a way that I can show everybody that I still have my freedom, that I can still hang out with my friends without the fear of being followed or kidnapped or beyond all the other things that come with stress. I want to do this different. I want to challenge this, and I want to do it different. And you are right. We are conditioned by society. We are conditioned to believe that this equals this. But where's this idea even coming from? Somebody had to vocalize, somebody had to say it. Like, why do we have to live in square houses? Why can't we live in like diamond shape or round? It's all about, we're following in the path of what was before, but yet we were the ones that created that. So why can we not create something different? I want to challenge that every single day. I want to challenge how I look at things. I want to challenge my relationships. I want to challenge my life. I want to challenge my financial freedom. I want to do things different, because if I do it, that tells other people that they can do it as well.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
that is
No,
what I want.
it's amen to that. And last point on this, and then, we can move on, but the person I think of who is, I believe, a liquid billionaire is Sarah Blakely, from Spanx. And I've seen her, live, and I appreciate her humbleness. I appreciate her philanthropic mindset. And I think she is a great example, especially for female entrepreneurs, of what's possible. So I know that is possible, like just from that example, at least from the surface, but it seems she has that holistic balance that I truly value, where she has the family life and the entrepreneur life and the personal life all dialed in. I mean, we're all imperfectly perfect, right, in our own ways. But anyway, that's interesting.
Absolutely. And having
Yeah.
that $1 billion is just something nice to have.
Yeah, something nice.
So
Yeah.
exactly. She still has her life. She could have had the same life at 100 million and we'll be like, oh, Sarah Blakely sold for 100 million. Yay. Or she's like, I cashed in $1 billion. Like, and you're right. Her life, I'm sure, didn't change that much from 100 million to $1 billion. Because you still have the life that you live. Like, you may take vacations. You're not gonna all of a sudden take more vacations, or you still have that same life. But it's like that accomplishment and what she has accomplished, not only for herself, but the rest of us. Like people like me, like your listeners, those that can be like, wow, you know what? I never even considered that being a possibility because of the background that I come from, single mom or, divorced parents or drug abuse or all of these things. People are like, I didn't know that can be a possibility for me. So even opening that door, that question of, can this become a reality for me? If I can only open that door for people, that's an accomplishment in itself for me.
I agree. I 100% agree. And I want to talk about your backstory a little bit. And I'm sure the Happy Hustlers are hearing your beautiful accent and they're like, where is Izabela from? So tell us a little backstory, where you grew up and kind of, how you became this entrepreneur, like, and what got you into entrepreneurship.
I am from Romania. I moved to...
That's all I got.
Foarte bine. Very good. Very good. Your Romanian is on point. I lived there my whole life. I moved to United States when I was 21. Lived very poor life. I wanted to escape communism. Came to US with $100 in my pocket. Had a series of different jobs. I was a nanny. I cleaned homes. I worked as a secretary. I worked as an event planner. I kept like working my way up in a sense, but not in the corporate sense. I didn't work my way up into a company and dream of one day becoming the manager. So I wanted to have those tiny experiences because every single job that I had, I've learned something. The one thing that I had in common with all of them was I wanted to be the best at it. So whether I cleaned homes, whether I worked at the restaurant, whether I was a nanny, I wanted to be the best. I wanted those people that were paying for my time to say, she's the best we've ever had. And that was what I strive for every single day. Doesn't matter if I was paid $2 an hour or $8 an hour. And I was making no money, but that power in me that I keep going and keep learning. And I didn't know about mindset. I didn't know about any of these things. And, I kind of discovered them myself as I grew up. And of course, now, I'm in this amazing country that you have access to all this knowledge, because in Romania, living in communism, we didn't even have a TV. We were not allowed. And even when we did have a TV, we had one channel where our dictator president was just speaking for like an hour or two. Like that was it. We were not allowed to travel. We were not allowed to see that there's more out there. And you can use that as an analogy for everything that's happening today. It's like, for those that are listening, like take a moment and see really the box that you're living in and try to see, are there any other ways that I can think outside of what's happening? Because every situation in our life, it's there for us to wake up and for us to reflect, like, am I going to go with the flow, or am I going to step outside a little bit and see what's going on? And luckily, for some reason, and I'm so blessed to have that introspection since I was younger. Like, what is it that is happening? Even though I couldn't put it into words then, but it was that feeling of, what the hell is going on? This is not the right way to live. And I was very young, and
Mm,
I said, are there any other opportunities out there? Are there any other places there that are free? Again, with my limited thinking and my limited vocabulary and my limited everything that I had then, that fire inside of me was like, maybe there's more. Maybe there's more
mm,
out there. What is it? So I started talking to my dad, and I remember it was maybe like, I don't know, 10, 11, 12, something like that. And my dad kept starting to tell me about this place called America. And he was describing it in such a way that it sounded like paradise, like what people think of when they think of paradise, even though my dad's never been. Nobody that we know has ever been, but he knew there's this other place that is like a dream. And in my kid's brain, I would imagine it every single night I would go to sleep, and it was almost like meditation. I didn't know that it was a meditation. I didn't know it was called visualization. I didn't know
mm.
I was bringing that reality into my life. So every night I would go to sleep, and it was like my Zen moment. I would close my eyes and I would picture myself living in this place. Like I would see a house, it was white, I saw like 2 stories, I saw myself walking on the streets, even though I couldn't even think of what those streets look like,
Mm.
because I didn't have that image, but it was like my creation. And every night I kept thinking about it and thinking of it. So I was very persistent with this goal. And I
Yeah.
knew that one day I will escape and I will leave this country and I will move to America. And then one day during winter, I remember coming home from school late at night, and I saw this lamp light like post on the street. And as I was getting closer, it was like super snowy and you could barely see. It was like beautiful night, right? But it was like so much snow and you could barely see like 2 feet in front of you. But I saw this lamp post and I kept getting closer, and I saw this little note like on it, like, which is so strange, right? And I felt like it was like calling for me to look at it. I know,
Yeah.
spooky. And I get closer, and it was just a note on it that said, do you want to go to America? Call this number.
What?
I'm not joking.
What? That's crazy.
Oh, and of course, I'm like,
Yes,
this is
please.
it. Yes, I'm like, this. I'm like, am I being pranked? Like, is somebody here? I quickly took that number down and I ran home. And I showed my dad, and I was like, Dad, look what I found. Like, this is what it said. And of course, that first reaction is like, maybe it's a scam. Like, we don't know what this is. So in the morning, my dad called and realized that it's an actual company that is helping like students do an exchange program within other countries, and America being one of them. So of course I wanted to go. Like, it was in another city. We had to drive like 2 hours away to get to this place. My dad took me there. The lady explained to us that this was real and I could apply. And this was like December. No, it was, I think, November, because I had to do some things. Like I had to get my driving license. I had to have all this like medical records, and I was like, this is for me. And I applied, and oh my God, the story is so long and I don't want to go in too much details, but
You
I
made it.
went, I went to the embassy in Bucharest, which was like hours away. I've never even been there. And every single person that walked into the embassy that day was denied. All their visas was denied. And
Oh,
I could
wow.
see people going in and they would come back out crying, 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 because once they deny your visa to US, you're done.
Mm.
Like, you're pretty much done. They, next time you go to apply, they're like, why were you denied the first time? Denied. So
Oh, yeah.
I was like, okay, this is what is going on. Like, I didn't come this far to only come this far.
Mm.
So I go in for the interview. They call me. I speak no English, and the interview it's an American. I mean, they speak like a few words of Romanian because they're, they learn while they're at the embassy, but not much. And and they're telling me like, why do you want to go to America? And, what are you going to do when you come back? So in my head, I'm like, if I step foot in America, I'm never coming back. But if you tell them that, they're going to
Yeah.
deny you. So like, here I am like telling them all these stories, like, I want to come back, and, I want to like open a school in Romania and all this, and they accept me. And I'm
Wow.
just like, this is meant to be. And there comes the shock, like, holy cow, now I have to leave my family. I've never even left my family ever, period. Now
Oh,
I'm
wow.
supposed to leave my family, move to another continent to struggle and hustle. And I'm like 20 years old.
Oh,
What?
man.
And that's when he hit me. I was like, oh my God, like, okay, yeah. You have to realize that when you make big goals, you're going to face some big, big things that are
Adversity.
not always going to be pleasant. So now it's like, okay, now I have to leave my family, my sister, my brother, that I was like sleeping in the same room with them, in the same bed, like my family. I've never even left town. And here I am, I'm supposed to cross oceans, go to another continent where I don't know the English, I don't know the culture, I don't know anything. But I was like, when you ask for big goals, this will happen. And I came to America and it was not easy, but I think that, all of these life experiences and all the struggles and all my hustle and everything I've done has brought me to that point of I can do anything. I can be a millionaire easy. I can be a billionaire easy. Like just looking at my life, everything that I've accomplished, why can I not accomplish this?
Yep. Yeah. That's a beautiful mindset to have, that you have forged through adversity, like pushing yourself out of your comfort zone, crossing oceans to America with $100 in your pocket, and starting this life and doing odd jobs and working your way up. And it's an inspiring story. I'll tell you, I come from humble roots and a blue collar work ethic, but I didn't have to have, like this major journey or leave my family. And it's really inspiring to hear. And I'm curious, fast forwarding now to your company, RankBell, and kind of what you do in just like your day-to-day life, because I know you're far from cleaning houses now. Tell us a little bit about RankBell and what this company's all about, and who you serve.
Right. And it's all about serving. Actually, I feel like I was put on this earth to definitely serve. And I think we all are in some way, and we all serve each other. And I feel like the financial gains it's a side effect of that. Really, it's a side effect. And the more you do what you love, and the more you're able to get yourself involved in other people's life, like you putting on this podcast, like it's helping thousands of people, right? And more, and being able to donate your time to be of service, to be in purpose, to help others, the money part will come. It will be easy. So when I started RankBell, it wasn't even called RankBell. It was just me. Like, there's this one girl who does the service, and she can help you. And then it developed over the years into what people know as RankBell. So I realized while I was, oh my God, again, a lot of stories behind this, but I used
give
to
us
live
the
in
fast forward, fast track version.
I know. I used to live in Africa and I used to live in Asia at the US Embassy. The irony, I was even at some point doing the fingerprints for those who applied for visas, that I was on the other side of it. So just to tie everything together, crazy. So when I was in Africa, I was in Rwanda, actually, almost 2 years I lived there. And then same thing with Burma, which people also known as Myanmar. But while I was away, Amazon was the only company that was able to ship stuff to us. Like if I wanted to order something from Walmart or Nordstrom or all this, none of them sent it, even though we had like a US PO box. I think maybe it wasn't called PO box, something else. But whatever it was, like Amazon was the only one that was able to send us stuff. And when you're living in a country like that, you want things from home, right? You want your books, you want, I don't know, maybe your favorite detergent or paper towels, or things that we take for granted every day in US. And I realized, I was like, why is Amazon the only company that is serving their clients? And it got me to kind of dig deeper into what kind of culture this company has. And I realized that they're all about making the customer experience the best. No other company has a better customer service. You can order something right now from Amazon that costs like $1,000, and you say, I'm not into it, or I don't like it, or somebody stole it, or it got lost. And Amazon, without question, they will send you the money back. Absolutely. This is beyond many other things, So I kind of started I was like, you know what? I want to be part of something so big. I want to be part of this community. And just by researching it, and it's like once you put your focus onto something, the universe will align instances in your life that will connect to that wish that you have. So next thing you know, I was contacted by a friend of mine from Europe that said, Isabella, my company, my dad has this company where doing light bulbs and we want to sell on Amazon US. Do you think you can help us? I was like, well, little do you know, I'm actually researching this just for my own curiosity. Absolutely, I'll help you. And we started working together. He's like, well, can you create my listing? I was like, sure. I've never even done that, but I just did what anybody else would do. I was like, okay, this person did it this way. I'll just kind of copy that model. It's like, can you take pictures? Sure, we'll take a picture. So I kind of just follow what everybody else was doing. So as I was helping him, I realized that every time somebody ordered his product, like his ranking moved up. So let's say if his product was like on page 3 or 4, the more orders he did, the better the ranking, the more he moved up on page. And I was like, well, there's something there. There's something there that I can help all these sellers bring their products to page 1. And that is really how RankBell was created in the space of so much competition, even though back then it was like 8 years ago, there wasn't as much competition. So I was able to do this quicker, but even then it was important. Now it's even more important than ever because somebody selling light bulbs is not just 2-3 sellers. Now there's maybe 500 of them selling the same thing. You can't have 500 sellers on page 1. It's just impossible. You'll have like 10. And then, the one that's on position 1 usually takes the money, takes the sales home. So I wanted to, once I started getting knowledge of how this works, how the algorithm works, how they can optimize their listing, their pictures to create a better experience for the customer. RankBell was created. It's like this service that's helping all these people bring their product to page 1, but not only that, but actually create that financial freedom for themselves. Because all the jobs that I had, the 8 to 5 or 9 to 5, it was a good experience. It was a good lesson, but I was selling my time for a very limited amount of money. And when you make a limited amount of money, it doesn't leave you enough time to leave a legacy, to create a better future, not only for you, but for your kids, for your family, for your grandkids, for anybody who goes beyond you. So of course I took the love of money that I have, which I have a very good relationship with money. We can talk about that anytime you want. But I was like, if I can only tell other people and show other people that, one, it's okay to love money. It's okay to accept that you love money. And second, it's okay to want more. It's okay to want more than the $10, $15 an hour that you make that barely gets you to the point and gets you in the same routine of you work till 5, you come home, you turn on the TV, turn on the news, chug a beer, eat a pizza because you want to relax. I understand that feeling of wanting to just let go of that life, but then it keeps repeating. And then you go out on a weekend and you get smashed and, you're just like, you keep doing the same things. And then next thing you know, you're 30, you're 40, you're 60. And then you look back, you're like, man, I could have done so much more. And I want to be that person to tell people, hey, you can do so much more. So Amazon for me is just one little avenue that I was able to express this desire to help others, to show them that they can quit their job and create something that can benefit them financially. And Amazon, it's not small battle. It takes a lot for somebody to actually make money on Amazon. But once you do, it can change somebody's life. And I've seen it times and times again, because this is what I do. So we don't advertise this service. Usually the people that found us, they find us through other sellers. And they will tell them, hey, there's the service you can use that will significantly improve your sales. And again, I don't want to say that RankBell is my whole life. I love it. I am passionate about it, but it's a small piece of my life, because I know what I can help people with is I want them to open their heart and open themselves up to their potential. So I know, most people want to talk about Amazon, but I always keep bringing it back to this mindset that there's so much more. It doesn't matter whether you take Amazon, doesn't matter whether you do any other things in life, as long as you remember your intention and what is it that you're you're going towards. And on top of that, we all want money. We all want cars. We want the house. We want the family. We want the hot girlfriend or a hot boyfriend. We want this because we're looking for that end result of being happy. If only I got that hot girl at the bar, then I will be really happy. But if we can start reverse engineering that and say, if I am happy first, then none of those instances can change how I feel. Like they can actually happen, or they cannot happen, and I will be fine with it because I am happy. And when you are happy, something changes in your structure, in your chemistry, and in your life that will bring better instances to you. Like you may think you want to do Amazon, but just because you're so happy where you are, even though it's not Amazon, it can be Tesla. It can be something even greater than you thought about. But because your heart is open and you're not stuck on this one single instant, you will realize that everything else will just come to you. And if it doesn't, then still be happy because something greater is happening for you.
Yeah. Oh, amen. Amen, sister. I mean, you're preaching the truth. And I'm a big proponent of true happiness comes from within. And you can choose right now to be happy with whatever is going on in your reality. I mean, if you have 10 fingers right now, you can be happy. You can be grateful. If you have the ability to breathe, you can find gratitude. And one thing that I see, especially with these entrepreneurs in my network, is they grind their face off. And I was there, Izabela, like where I was grinding so hard, working these 100+ hour weeks, all for this profit and success. And I burn out as an entrepreneur with my tech startup in New York City. The happy hustlers know my story, but I'll spare the details. But the point is, I had this breakthrough that my true happiness comes from within, and it's more related to fulfillment. And in my opinion, and according to Tony Robbins too, the secret to living is giving. And that fulfillment comes from giving to others, serving, as Izabela said. Obviously, you want to have your basic needs met. You want to have a great relationship with money, which I do want to mention and talk about with you. But it's very important that you brought that up, and I just wanted to echo it. The true happiness is cultivated from within, and you can choose gratitude right now. And I just think that's how this mindset of the happy hustle even came to be for myself. And I love that you are a proponent of that as well. So super cool. Now, let me ask you this. I do touch on what I like to call the happy hustle hacks. And these are things in regards to a couple different disciplines: health, money, relationships. What would you say is a happy hustle hack for money? First and foremost, like something that you do that helps you attract that abundance, maybe something that you do to help save or spend or invest wisely that you could share.
We could do a whole nother episode, but I'll just try to be brief. I think changing your relationship with money. So just through culture, and not just in US, but all the countries in the world, a lot of people tend to equate money with evil. Because again, they may look at, maybe they see a show, or, somebody tells them, or their religion says, the more money you have, the more evil you will become, or only those that are evil have so much money. Like there's no need for so much money. That's greed. So it, like, when you grow up in an environment like this, without even knowing, you are assimilating this into your subconscious that having money or wanting money, it's a bad thing. And I know this because I had that, in our culture, those who had money were the bad people. Yeah. And I never wanted to be a bad person. I wanted to be a good person. So that equated was like, okay, if I have money, then I'm a bad person. I don't want to have that. So I had to retrain myself and create a better relationship with the money, and accept that is just a tool, just like brushing your teeth or anything in your life is just a tool. Having money does not make you a bad person. You being a bad person is what makes you a bad person. If you're a good person, having money will only enhance that. So I think just taking the time and say, what do I really think about money? Did my parents say that money is evil? I know a lot of religious people that, when I tell them that I want to become a billionaire, they look at me like they just changed their view of me completely. Now I am not this nice person anymore. I must be some kind of evil person because of my desire for money. And again, I want to challenge that. Like, think, where is that idea coming from? Is it from my parents? Is it from TV? Is it from a show that I've seen? And how can I create a better relationship with the money? How can I see? And the best way you can see it is see money as a friend.
Yeah.
Excuse me. See money as somebody that's close to your heart. So if you had a friend and you told that friend you're evil and you're bad and you're horrible and all this, would that friend want to be around you? I don't think so.
No.
So when you tell the money you are evil and I can't stand you, and you'll hear this a lot, Gary, you'll hear people say, I only want $1 million in this life and I'm good. I only want that. Like, it's almost like saying like a prayer, like, God, if only you give me $1 million, I'll be so happy. I don't need 100 million. Kind of like that makes it better that they only want this and not this. Like, if you were to make a wish in this lifetime, wish whatever you want. Like, if you called the goldfish and you have one wish to make, why not ask for anything you want? Why limit yourself? We limit ourselves so much. And again, I keep saying this. I want you to challenge yourself and say, what am I even doing? Why can I not ask for most of it? What is it? But it's a lot of shadow work. You got to go deep inside yourself and see, why do I think this way? What makes me think this way? Are there people in my life that I might not need to hang out for a little bit? Do I need to change what I'm watching on TV? Do I need to change what I'm reading? Do I need to change how much time I'm spending on Facebook or Instagram? And nobody wants to do that. It sucks. It sucks so bad because it's easier to just chill. It's easier to turn on Netflix. I love it too because I am human. But it's like when you go against all the things that you are living in that habit, and you're able to actually see it, and you're like, holy cow, I've been doing this to myself. Take responsibility. Look at money and say, you know what, money, I love you. Let's do this. Let's see how far we can get. Change your relationship with money and change your relationship with how you see yourself. Like, be kind to yourself, be gentle on yourself, because we all carry battles and things on our shoulders that nobody else can see. There's so much hidden behind a smile. And, like my experience with the coyote, like it just happened. I didn't get a chance to share it with anyone yet, but it was very traumatic. And I could have become the victim and say, I don't know why this is happening to me. And I could have lived that victim mentality. Or I can be like, I am a warrior right now. Like, bring it on, bring it on. What else do you have? So it's a matter of it's an instant of I create my own reality. And it's hard truth. It's really hard truth, because if you're like, well, my boss fired me, my wife left me, my kids hate me, it's easy to be sucked into I am a victim. Like, this is happening to me. But take responsibility. Okay, these are facts. Yes, they still happen. Your wife still hates you or cheated on you. There's nothing you can do to change that part, but you can change your reaction to it. And what is it that you're going to do next? Instead of going home and get drunk every day, what is it that I can do to improve so next time it doesn't happen? And you can see how your life will change, will turn around, just by that simple fact that you made the decision of becoming the best version of yourself.
So true. So true. Love that. And it really is, you choose your reality and you choose the lens in which you see it. Do you view through a pessimistic lens of despair or an optimistic lens of abundance? And I love that you brought that up. Now, I do want to ask you the rapid fire round questions, and then we will wrap this interview up. This is basically where I just ask you random things and you answer honestly. First thing that comes to mind. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. Favorite movie? Go.
Limitless.
Oh, good one. Favorite book?
Think and Grow Rich.
Favorite food?
Favorite food? I'm vegan now for like past 2 months. So, but before vegan, I would say sushi.
Best business advice?
Gratitude. Always be grateful for everything that you have.
What is your spirit animal?
Oh, God. Woo. Lion.
Ooh, good one. Happy hustle hack for your health?
Drink water.
Ooh,
Very simple. Drink water.
3 things you're most grateful for.
I'm grateful to be alive in this lifetime because not all of us get that chance. I mean, there's so many cells and there's so many eggs and we made it. And how long did it take for us to be created in this lifetime? So I am so grateful to be alive. And even though we only have a limited amount of time to be able to experience this, to feel, to taste, grateful. To other things, I am grateful for being able to have a clear mind and to think and make decisions based on my own reality. And third, I am grateful for my family. I am grateful to have an amazing kid who's 5 and he's a savage and he's out of control. He's me times 1,000, but it's just so beautiful to see. I mean, I have so many things to be grateful for, but I think this kind of encompasses all of it.
Those are great. If you had one billboard for the world to see with your last piece of content ever created, what does that billboard read?
You can create your own reality.
Love it. Izabela Hamilton, tell us where we can go to find out more about you, where the Happy Hustlers can hear your podcast, and just some links.
Just Izabela Hamilton, and that's spelled Izabela. You can find me on Instagram at bella.iza.bella. You can find me on RankBell website. I have also a podcast that I do. It's called Mindset Mondays on Seller Sessions. It's an Amazon podcast, but I like to switch it up and bring amazing guests. And Carrie's going to be one of my guests very soon. And we can talk about your life. I am very curious to hear about, because I know you're happy hustlers. But we were just recently introduced, but I'm taking an interest now into your life because I can feel we have the same energy and I cannot wait to hear you. So yeah, you can find me pretty easily. If you really want something, you can make it happen.
Amazing. And we'll link all those up on the show notes as well. And Izabela, I just want to take a moment to acknowledge you. I appreciate you sharing your love, your light, your wisdom with the Happy Hustlers and your inspiring story and your mindset. I love your mindset. It is definitely a Happy Hustler mindset. And I appreciate you. And I just want to say thank you.
I love it. Thank you so much for having me on. And yeah, this was great. A good boost for me as well as we're continuing this week. So thank you.
For sure. Now, final question. What does happy hustling mean to you?
I think I'm at a point right now where I actually feel that. So that's why when we started, you're like, happy hustle. I'm like, I love that because you can hustle in your life and you don't have to not hustle. You don't have to be Zen. You can still enjoy that. Like, even though I sound like very spiritual and very chill and, like God and angels and universe, I love hustling. Like, do not get confused. I am a shark.
I don't think anyone's confused.
I am a beast. I'm a warrior. I will hustle till the day I die because I love that grind. But yet I am a happy hustler. I have that side where I let loose and I go out and I enjoy and I love being with friends and I love new experiences. So happy hustle, I would say, is the secret formula for life. You can be happy and you can hustle.
Mic drop. Izabela Hamilton. Thanks for watching and listening, y'all. We are out. Peace and love.
Thank you.